Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to do a follow-up to the video put out by way of Zach George being triggered over impending dog licensing legislation making its way through by way of in New Jersey. Now, unbeknownst to me, and again, this is where I kind of just responded to his video, but he mentioned New Jersey, and I had mentioned on that video as I actually had sent a letter in at that time when this was going forward, and there's balanced dog trainers that I believe went down to a meeting. They're arguing from the standpoint of, because at the time it was directed towards a force-free agenda, okay, pushing forward this type of force-free type of licensing, and so it triggered off a lot of balanced dog trainers. So they attended, but they argued it, and this is the point, they argued it not from the perspective of what a process really is, right? They want to hold on to their tools. They want to approach it from balance, so they'll talk about corrections and different things like that. But they argued it from, they confronted it from the point of a market standpoint to say, let the buyer, right? You're buying a product, that they have the choice. So if you take away that choice through force-free, it's like going against the free market, right? So they approached it from the free market. I sent down a letter at that time, and I sent a letter. I emailed it to one of the representatives, the legislative persons on that was part of that group. I actually sent them a letter outlining the problems and just it's kind of a summary of what's going on in the dog training world, and that the force-free definitely is not the way to go here, period. So I made that point very clear in the letter I sent off when that was happening. Now, I'm not saying that stopped, because obviously something happened, because now apparently it's the same legislation. It's not the same legislation, it's the same issue, licensing within the same area, New Jersey, but now it's changed. Okay, that's what's triggered off Zach George, because now it's talking about opening it up by way of the use of, of remote callers, okay, prong callers, pinch callers, and I'm fine with that at this point, considering all the problems. I hope you understand that, it's like this whole working through part, because from my perspective, okay, don't get me wrong, I come right up against balanced training saying that represents confusion as well. If I talk about, what process is, okay, it's an intervention. Okay, influence is part of it. Okay, so, from the perspective of force-free, right, that's totally agenda-driven. That's not going to be good for it, but to leave this opened up in such a way that to work through this is what I'm doing, having this conversation, or through my Flipping the Script series, I'm very specific about, what a process is, but the ability to leave this whole thing open in such a way that to be able to at least arrive at a place where people start to understand what's happening here. Okay, so, that's what's, so the legislation part has obviously changed, okay, in the force-free side of things. They're not happy, of course, because they're ideologues, okay? It's not about what's best for dogs. Understand that. It's totally selfish, and it's nothing to do with all the inherent problems. They talk about that. This is totally just like PETA. It's like PETA out of control. Like they'll kill every dog they come in contact with, pretty much, okay? I mean, it's horrendous. So this is no different than the PETA agenda. So, don't even believe people should even own dogs, right? This is the craziness. This is what happens. So twisted this stuff gets. So all to say that, I just want to, clarify, because since I did that video, my understanding it is the same area, legislation. With the legislation, it's changed, okay? And who knows? I put a letter in at the time. I know the balanced dog trainers, they believe they attended, spoke up about this, the force-free agenda. Clearly, and they were getting, like, the information they were getting. And see, that's what happens. It's like the Trojan horse. People like Zach George or whoever, they want to try to sneak stuff in. Because it's not about dogs that way. This is like PETA. This is all this is. So again, I just want to qualify that. I want to clarify, just so people understand what's going on here. But I'm going to look at that. In fact, I'm going to, take a hard look at the legislation, what's going on down there, just to see what it is. But all to say, definitely, things need to change in the dog training world. I'm not for balanced training. I'm not for force-free. I'm talking about what a process is, what it isn't. But the dog training world's a mess for a reason. So definitely, you know, I'm all about a standard, but the right standard. Okay, talk about there is truth, there is a standard. Training's not a learning-based exercise. Okay, it's an intervention. Okay, those core ingredients I talk about, influence and control, they have to be part of a process by way of how a dog's decision-making process is influenced and governed at the social level. I talk about that, and all you have to do is look at the outcomes. Okay, look at just how common it is for dogs to get blamed, all the blame shifting going on. Just line it up. I mean, don't take my word for it, because everything I put out, nothing's hidden. Okay, I put it all out there, I connect all the dots, and that's the problem with all these trainers. They don't want to connect dots. They don't connect dots to a process, and they don't want to connect dots to all the problems. So there you go. So again, check out the information I put out. It's very specific about the real problem, but the solution as well. Thanks for watching.